Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Feriano here. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's going to be very important for you guys to understand as you navigate through your journey as a trader. Today I'm going to be mainly focusing on psychology. So I think this topic is going to be very important in terms of really building your mindset as a trader and understanding and having self-awareness, because I truly believe that if you want to be successful as a trader, you need to consistently develop awareness, right? Self-awareness when it comes down to trading, and also the thing that impact your trading on a day-to-day basis. So today's video is going to be on positive versus negative validation. I'm going to give you guys example and situational example of what would it look like to have positive validation and what also would look like when you have negative validation. So positive versus negative validation. In my personal opinion, when you're looking at negative validation, for example, I'm going to start on the negative side. I personally believe it is anything that you do to seek approval from other people, in a sense of like trying to validate something maybe that you have missing, for example. So as a trader, if you go out of your way to share maybe a result that you have gotten for the day, whether that's a win or something that you have achieved that's essentially great, or anything small, right, from big to small, with another trader or with even your mentor, someone that you consider as a mentor, that can be a form of negative validation. Because let's say, for example, you did not follow your trading plan, right? You did not follow your rules in terms of what you're supposed to be doing in the market, but you made money that day, right? You just happened to make money that day because you traded, you kept trading, and then eventually by the end of the day, you made money. Then when you share that result with someone else, it's a way of validating the mistake that you have done, right? You're validating the bad habit that you have essentially performed. And when you do that, it reinforces the bad habit. So if you have the habit of consistently sharing like success that you have done, and I'm a victim of that as well, right? Where and I'm very much guilty of doing the same thing too, where time to time in the beginning of my journey, and then even time to time even now, if I share some type of result, I know, like, yo, Feriano, like, you did not necessarily follow all your rule on this level of success, on this payout, or on this level of success that you just achieved, right? So like, why do you share that? You don't need to share that. Like, just keep it to yourself and focus on making sure that you share with specific amount of people, specific people that actually care. And when you do it in a way where you're sharing something where it is focusing and highlighting the positive of your system essentially. And I'm going to touch upon that when I go into like the positive validation, but for now I'm going to stick to the negative validation. So that's one of the aspects of negative validation. When you share something or you over display, either you over emphasize on the positive, right? But the positive, that's not necessarily a good thing, where maybe you validated your rule, you validated your risk management, you over leverage, you over traded, and then you got the job done in terms of profit. However, what is the impact on psychology, right? When you do that, when you share like that, you're trying to validate the bad habit, and then it create a cycle where if you do that, it feels good, right? And the next day, when it come back, it's going to be very tough for you to say to yourself, oh, you know what, I over leveraged yesterday, I passed a bunch of evaluation, but today I'm going to try my best to not over leverage. That's not how it works. All right, that's just not how it works in trading. In trading, when you start doing something fucked up, literally it's gonna follow you like non-freaking stop. Like, you pass an evaluation by over leveraging, and I'm speaking from experience, guys. I'm speaking from my own experience because I've been through the same phase. I already done the same dumb stuff, right? Where I over leverage, and next thing you know, to pass an evaluation, next thing you know, I'm telling myself, oh, you know what, I'm not gonna really like try to do the same thing on the funding stage. But guess what? You end up doing the same thing. So whether you like it or not, that's sometimes a subconscious level of validation that we don't even realize we're doing. So that's an aspect of that. Now, another aspect of negative validation is like, let's say if you have parents, right? Let's say if you have coworker, you go to a coworker, you go to a parent, you go to an uncle, you go to a brother or sister, and then you tell them, man, this week was very tough. I had a bad day. I lost some money here and there, but I learned a lot. And then immediately they tell you, oh, that thing that you're doing, you're still doing that? You're not gonna make money from that. You know, people lose money from doing that. You know that, right? And then they say something along those lines, or they say, man, I told you should get a real job, man. Or your uncle tell you, or your dad tell you, oh man, you should get a real job. I told you this. You should have gone to college. I don't know what you're doing. Where you wasting your time gambling on the internet and doing these things. That's another thing that you can get told, right? And guess what? When you get told those things, guess what happened to your psychology? What happened immediately to your psychology is that you start thinking like, bam, like maybe they're right. Like maybe I should stop doing. And then it creeps in, right? And then if you don't kick into that gear where you are thinking maybe like, okay, maybe I should quit this. The other thing that you're going to be thinking is like, you know what? When you're on the chart the next day, subconsciously, you're going to be thinking about trying to validate that you are not a failure or whatever you're doing is not the wrong thing, right? Therefore, in the chart, you're going to try to overcompensate for that negative energy that you got from them, right? You're going to try to essentially over leverage to try to accomplish relatively fast the goal, right? Because you feel like you need to achieve it fast because you need to prove to anybody, you need to prove to someone else that what you're doing is essentially it's not a waste of time, right? And that's when we can also subconsciously try to validate other people or trying to get validation from other people from the negative side. And that's the negative form of validation, right? So you need to be aware of this type of thing, because if you're not aware of positive and negative form of validation happening around you and consistently happening to you, guess what's going to happen? You are going to be a victim of those things without even realizing it, because you lack self-awareness. And what I'm giving you right now is just different example of scenario where this can happen. If you're self-aware of that, guess what? You can avoid those things, right? So in the example for the second example where I talked about people or family member or friend that you essentially want to talk about your journey, your ups and downs, one way to avoid that is simply not talk to people that are not educated about your journey, right? And I talked about this in some of my previous video when I talk about how to avoid blowing account, which starts the psychology essentially. Don't talk to people who are not educated about your journey, right? Because they don't understand the struggle. They don't understand the perspective that you have in regards to actually what it is you need to do to achieve that level of success that you're essentially seeking. I never have any sort of animosity towards people that don't see the vision that I have, right? I never have any sort of animosity. When I was younger, when I was 20, I actually did not always have the best relationship with my mom, and I talked about this in some of my previous video. And from 20 to like 24, I worked very, very hard to really build myself up, right? To the point where people around me respected me for the thing that I have accomplished, getting into real estate investing, getting property and things of that nature. However, I was not every single year, I was not like reaching out to people and telling them, oh, I'm doing this, or I'm working on this, I'm achieving this. I was simply working and getting things done. And by default, people started respecting me, right? You get validation by letting the work and receipt show, right? For what you have to essentially show for. That's it. And then the validation will come by itself. That's the positive way to essentially enable that validation, right? Without you even thinking about it. Now, a positive form of validation will be making sure that you surround yourself with the right mentor, with the right accountability partner. Now, and then making sure that you're sharing consistently your result, whether they're positive or negative, right? You share your result day to day, and then you let them know essentially if you have followed your system, if you have followed your trading plan, if you're not over leveraging, you have to let them know all those things, because if you're not doing that, you're simply doing a negative form of validation where you simply want to be validated on the positive result that you have accomplished. But when you're sharing the positive, the ups and downs, that is a very, very good, healthy way of getting validation, because you want to make sure that you have someone in your corner that understand your ups and downs of the journey, right? Understand what it's like to go through the journey that you're going through. And as long as you have someone like that in your corner, that is a positive form of validation when you do share things with them. That's a positive form of validation when you seek to get the approval, because you're not seeking the approval from a place of need, from a place of scarcity, but instead from a place of abundance, right? From a place of understanding, because they are your peer, right? Or they're your mentor in some instances, right? And then you're simply trying to make sure that, hey, this is what I'm doing. Am I doing the right thing? Am I on track? If you're still learning, oh, hey, here's what I'm doing, is I'm currently doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm not deviating from my trading plan. That is the positive validation there. And that takes self-awareness, right? Because sometimes you're going to be doing things that are attached to negative form of validation. And if you're not consistently aware of the thing that you're doing that can bring you to the negative side of validation, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be in that cycle continuously, non-stop, until you tweak and fix that. That's why with trading pays a lot. People that really get to the point where they're very, very consistent with trading, they get paid so much because, yes, they have the edge, but the thing beyond the edge that's way more powerful to actually get them to make money month in and month out, is the psychology, right? Self-awareness, a consistent work on yourself and on themselves. If you can get that part correct, I promise, once you have the edge, keyword asterisk there, I'm gonna have to put that there, it becomes much more simpler. The journey becomes much more clearer. So that's my take today on today's topic. This is really about psychology. The key difference, the key component when it comes down to positive validation versus a negative validation, guys. I hope you guys like and enjoy this talk. I didn't want to really make this a long video. And if you guys have a take on this, please let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this. What is a form of negative validation that you guys have encountered in the last few days or weeks, trading, and also what is a form of positive validation that you guys have encountered. I would love to hear from you guys and know what you guys think about this specific topic. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And also let me know in the comment section down below what type of video or what topic would you like me to cover in the next future video. I'd be happy to hear, all ears here. Until next time, guys, make sure to stay in profit. Peace.